All right, now that we've talked a little bit about what a user story is, what a product backlog is, let's talk about the user story formula. So again, a user story is the smallest piece of work that represents some value to an end user and can be delivered during a sprint. So we're going to be creating user stories using this very simple formula, and it goes like this. As a role, I want a feature so that I can have some kind of benefit. So let's talk about the user role. So it says, as a role, what is a role? So a user role is going to be the user that the story is written about. And there are usually many types of users for any software. And so in this analysis phase, we are going to be thinking about the different roles that we are going to be using. I've seen a lot of, as a user of the system, that's a type of role. As a customer, that's a role. As an employee. So there's lots of different types of role. It just depends on the kind of software that you're creating. So for example, let's jump over to this next slide. User story examples that fit in a taxi app project. So we have an example taxi application project. So two roles that we might see there would be as a driver or as a passenger. So a driver is going to have different needs from the software than a passenger will. So we will want to create user stories and talk about the features from each of those perspectives. All right, looking at the feature part of the formula. So as a role, I want some kind of feature. So what is a feature? A software feature or functionality is going to be something that the software can do or some kind of task it can perform. So it can also be the way it performs that task as well. So again, let's look at some examples. I think the examples speak about it the best. So again, with that same taxi app project, so as a driver, so here we have that role, as a driver, I want to block badly behaved passengers. So this would be something that the product backlog would mention. The product backlog would have something in it that said, hey, we want to make sure that drivers can block their badly behaved passengers. And so we would write, as a driver, I want to block badly behaved passengers. As a passenger, I want to link the credit card to my profile. So these are all features. Blocking bad drivers, linking credit card to my profile. As a driver, I want to add photos to my car in my profile, or of my car. And then as a passenger, I want several available drivers to be displayed. So these are desires for types of features that a passenger and a driver would want from this app. Now, keep in mind that these features that are listed here should be derived from the product backlog. You don't want to be adding stuff that's not in the product backlog, and we don't have our example product backlog here. We'll get to that in a minute. So the benefits. So as a role, I want a feature so that I can have some kind of benefit. So what is a benefit? We all know what a benefit is. In this context, though, it's going to be why the user wants that user or that particular feature. So why would the user like to have this feature? So let's look at some examples. As a driver, I want to block badly behaved passengers so that they are never shown to me again. So that's very simple, right? It's just very straight to the point, but that is why. Why? Because I don't want to see them anymore. I don't want to accidentally choose them as I'm going through my list of, potential pickups. So I would want to just not be shown those, so that they're not shown to me. So as a passenger, I want to link the credit card to my profile so that I can pay for a ride faster, easier, and without cash. So this might seem like a very straightforward reason, but it is important that it's laid out so that we can know that we are satisfying needs of a customer. As a driver, I want to add photos of my car in my profile so that I can attract more passengers. As a passenger, I want several available drivers to be displayed so that I can choose the most suitable option for me.